President Biden says Americans are back at work in what he calls a historic economic recovery. The U.S. added 431,000 jobs in March, slightly lower than analysts expected, but still a strong sign. And the unemployment rate dropped to 3.6%, down from 3.8% a month ago. Let's bring in ABC News contributor Alexis Christoforous for more on all of this. Alexis, just from a general standpoint, what do you make of these numbers and the way the president is characterizing them?
I think when you look at the numbers, just at the top line, there's never been a better time to look for a job. I mean, we've got a very strong and resilient job market, 11.3 million job openings, and not enough people to fill them. So as the president said just a short time ago, he said workers now have the power to get better wages. People are leaving their jobs with confidence they can get better jobs and higher pay elsewhere. And the 3.6% unemployment rate you're seeing here, almost at pre-pandemic levels, Diane, because in February of 2020, the unemployment rate was at 3.5%. We should probably hit that in the next month or two.
And the president pointed to this record in wage growth.
Yeah.
But we heard one of the reporters shout to him as he was walking out, but what about inflation? Something the president did not address in this speech. We know wages have gone up, but not as much as inflation. So put these numbers into context for us.
And that's on everybody's mind, especially voters, as they're going to be voting in the midterm elections. So wages went up pretty healthy over the past year, up about 5.5%, but inflation outstripped that, now at a 40-year high of nearly 8%. So our dollar doesn't have the same power it held just a year ago, and we're starting to see our household spending is starting to pull back a little bit as people now think, well, do I really need to take that trip? Do I really need to go out to a restaurant tonight? And they're going to start rethinking that as the months go on.
And then the big one, gas prices. We're seeing gas prices essentially skyrocket. The president announced just yesterday they'll start to release 1 million barrels of oil a day from the strategic reserves. How much do you think that will help in the short run and the long run?
Short run is really it, because that's what it's going to help. It's not a long-term solution. The president called it a wartime bridge. It's not going to replace all the Russian oil that's being taken off the market. 1 million barrels a day sounds like a lot. It represents about 5% of what we go through here in the U.S. So we should see gas prices come down in the coming weeks, anywhere from 25 to 35 cents a gallon. The problem with this is lots of folks say it's short-sighted, because he's pulling down those reserves, those strategic reserves, which are emergency reserves, to their lowest level since 1984, and we're going to have to replenish them at some point. And the question is, at what price do we replenish them?
And you talked about the number of jobs that are open, not enough people to fill them, wages are up. What does that mean for business owners right now and the general growth of the economy?
For business owners, it's really competitive. They're looking for workers in a smaller pool of available workers, so they have to compete with other companies, which is why, for the first time in a long time, workers are actually in the driver's seat. They're walking in and saying, this is the salary I want, here's the flexibility I want. For the first time, Diane, too, in a long time, we're seeing folks get benefits if they're working less than 40 hours a week. So right now, employers are really doing all they can to attract and keep the right talent.
And then the other big question is how the Federal Reserve responds to all of this, right? Because as you said, those inflation numbers are still ticking up, and everyone's always watching the Fed to see what's going to happen with interest rates. What do you think?
I think that the Federal Reserve is going to read today's report and go, yep, the economy is strong enough to take those higher interest rates. They've laid out a very aggressive plan to raise interest rates over the next few months. After a report like this, no reason to believe they're going to back down now, because the fear is not so much that they're going to push the economy into a recession. They need to get these high inflation numbers down.
All right, Alexis Christoforous, thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.